What's up, everyone? Welcome to Screen Smash. I'm your host, Dan. Joining me this evening, I have Jake Brown.
Howdy, howdy.
He's back from the dead. Tyler Graham.
Hello, hello. I'm joining you today with WB Mason.
Absolutely. And the always present and always salty Maria.
What's up, Gov?
So, all right, everybody, we are back off of a short little hiatus that wasn't really intentional. We just kind of had some technical difficulties. We were going to do an episode talking about our predictions for the Xbox showcase. Now it's going to turn into reactions. Yay! Which is kind of good because it was a good show.
Yeah. It's all right.
That's all right. You're going to say that either way. Right.
Am I the only person who kind of had like more expectations going in? Like I think I was kind of more excited.
No, I had lots of expectations.
I feel like that's my biggest issue though, is like I go into these things with such high expectations. And so when I don't get what I want, I'm like,
I'll tell you what, Jake. I went in with some things I wanted to see that I didn't see, but I think I still came out of the showcase like way more excited than I went in. Like this felt kind of like E3 to me, but like old E3, you know what I mean? Like
classic
like,
E3.
Yeah, like classic E3. Like I wanted to see E3. Like State of Decay 3 and like what is it? Like Outer Worlds 2, and they didn't have any of that, but like Starfield was kind of massive, so kind of big.
Ooh. So all right, so wrap it up. Right away, yeah. So to get us rolling, like I had a couple of thoughts that I wanted to like lead into it. So let's start with that. Like you already kind of started us off, Jake. Let's roll with that of like what did you think of the showcase? Tyler, you touched on that. So Maria, what was your overall take of the showcase?
I mean, it was pretty good. As showcases go, it was one of the better ones. I'm not a big gamer, but I found some stuff that I was like, okay, that's kind of interesting. I kind of appreciate that they got on with it and didn't try and do a bunch of stupid skits and shit.
But Xbox has gotten pretty good about that. I think they've done really well with that. I appreciate.
I didn't fall asleep during it, and I was very tired at the time. So.
Yeah, that's always good. I get super frustrated during the PlayStation showcases when they have those random like in between bits of just graphics of like Sony logos, and I'm like. Yeah.
Oh, like the fucking like button, the buttons on the controller.
It's like the X's and the O's and the triangles, and it's all swimming around, and it's all fancy. Like, how much money did they spend on these graphics? Like, for what? For just go.
Yeah, well, they just have like a bunch of the creators coming in, and they're all trying to be hip, and they're like, "Hey, kids, I got something for you," and you're just like, "Fuck off and show me the game."
Like the old like janky white dude with a skateboard, like, "Yo, guys, what up?"
Dope.
Dope.
That was dope.
We here at PlayStation know what our audience wants, and that's games where you pay more money on top of money.
I just love that Phil had a Hexen shirt on.
Just my god, yes.
Dope. Like, why? Yes. Why are you wearing a Hexen shirt? Why? You did it. Everyone got excited because everyone was like, "Is there a Hexen game coming?"
Hexen? No. It's funny because
I'm playing. Anybody really remember what he was talking about?
I think he just knows what I'm doing because I've been playing Hexen lately. And like I'm playing Hexen for the first time, and maybe Phil's just like, "Oh, this is for you, Dan."
You have a telepathic link with Phil Spencer.
That's right.
I think it was one of those shirts that like his wife found at Walmart that have the weird branding sometimes, but they're just like gamer shirts, and they're just like, "You should wear this on the show," and he's like, "Dope."
That shirt looked like it was kind of like freshly printed, though. Too.
Yeah, it didn't look like a legitimate Hexen shirt. It was just like, oh.
Okay, so we've pretty much gotten everyone's like, what did you think of the show? Except for me, I kind of agree with Jake and Tyler of like, I went into it with really high hopes because there's so much that we're expecting from Microsoft. But I also came out of it like, I didn't quite see everything I was hoping to see, but I'm also quite happy with what I did. And I don't really have any complaints. Like, yeah, there's some things that we missed, but the main thing if we didn't have it, it would have upset me was the Fable trailer, which we're gonna get into that in a moment here. I think the weakest side of the showcase is they pretty much didn't have much for the rest of the year. Like we got Starfield, that's their big, like they're putting everything on Starfield,
all the eggs in the basket.
Yeah, like it's coming September. That's our game basically for this year is Starfield. And then you've got Forza Motorsport, which I care about Forza. The few other car enthusiasts out there are going to care about Forza. I know most people don't care about car games, and you're probably sitting there like, wow, what the hell is this crap? Let's go. I don't care. Car games are fun for people who enjoy them. I'm excited, but that's the only other game.
I can't with Forza. I'm sorry, I can't. I like car games, but I can't do it with it.
But it's a simulation racing game. Like, if you're not into sim racing, you're not going to want to play those.
Mind that. I just don't like that. It's just there's that. I played one Forza game and there was a woman on there and she was like, "You're the best racer. Nobody can race better than you." And I'm just like,
so you're put off by Forza 4 because I think that was Forza 4 that had that.
I was just like, what is this game?
Forza 4 also had the Top Gear gang in it doing voiceover and stuff.
I don't care. I'm just
I know, whatever. You don't care about anything, Maria. You don't care about
I want to race a car.
I just want that Maria's like voice as a GPS for you're the best racer. Turn left.
All right, let's start with Starfield. Okay, so we'll start with Starfield because that was like they had an entire showcase specifically on Starfield, and then we'll go into the nitty gritty of the entire show. So, Starfield. Bum, bum, bum.
How about them sandwiches?
Where are you at with Starfield? Like, do you care about Starfield?
It's too big for me
I'm
to care.
50-50 on it.
Too big, 50-50.
I'm 50-50.
I'm going to go 75-25. like not 50-50 because like I think that like looked hype as hell, but also like I have my reservations. You know what I mean? Like I'm scared it's not going to be in depth enough because it's so wide. You know what I mean? Like I'm scared it's going to be like puddle deep, so to speak.
I kind of saw some of the gameplay of it, and it didn't look that good. Like the actual like the shooting parts and stuff, it looked okay. But then you have the the action scenes and all the spaceships. It's like, oh, it looks phenomenal. But when you see someone walking around with a gun, it's like it looks just like mediocre. I don't know.
See, I didn't mind like the shooting gameplay they showed off. Like
actually, the shooting gameplay for me is actually kind of what made me go, oh, like
I kind of feel the same way. Yeah. It looked kind of like a slightly more grounded, like Borderlands-y type of.
But if you watch the
shooter?
extended showcase, they also showed a lot of different ways to approach combat, which I think is really cool.
You could like do the stealth, like
you can stealth. You can do like melee focus. Like one guy was talking about how he had like a melee build where he just ran around like punching dudes instead of them flying.
Dudes. Yeah,
I'm like, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. And then at the very end, they showed like I don't know, some Bioshock plastid looking shit. I don't know if you remember that. Like the guy like froze like 4 people in front of him or something like that.
Oh, I didn't catch that part.
Yeah, so there's definitely going to be like all types of approaches, but I like the idea of being like a space cowboy. Like that shit's just sick. So I'll be running around with a revolver, and that shit'll make me happy.
Yeah. I was lukewarm on Starfield because I'm not huge on Bethesda games, the Bethesda RPGs. Yeah, the ones I played the most was Fallout 3 and Oblivion. Like I've beaten Fallout 3, but I've never beaten any other Bethesda RPG. They're fun. I get into them for a while, but yeah, they're just too big to like really spend a lot of time in. And my first impressions with Starfield is like, oh, it's No Man's Sky, but by Bethesda. And it still kind of looks like that. It still kind of looks like a more story-driven, like combat-rich version of No Man's Sky.
That star chart shit they showed, like the star travel,
like how you can jump
straight out of No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
So, I want to go back to you, Maria, on like how you feel about Starfield.
It's one of those games I feel like it seems interesting to me, but it's so big and so wide. I feel like I'm going to have to invest a lot of time in getting to know NPCs, walking around reading emails. You know, I love doing that. Romancing these shagging aliens. You know, I just feel like it's going to be one of those games that I'm like, oh my God, get on with it. But yeah, it seems good. Like it looks impressive and stuff, but I am also as well, because it's such a big game and it's so just ambitious. I just think it's going to get released and it's going to go, this ain't what you said it was going to be.
No Bethesda game really is though, but they're still beloved.
No,
even still.
but that's just a lot of the game. I'm just thinking it's just too. I just don't think I have the patience to really indulge in it. I mean, it has its place, but yeah, I don't know.
I think space nerds are gonna love this game.
Yeah,
like if you're a big nerd for space and exploration and NASA and all that, you're gonna just lose yourself in this game because you're just gonna like want to absorb every ounce of the spacey goodness that the game has.
Yeah,
and they definitely did like a. Oh, sorry, Jake. I just
you can
wanted
finish your thought. Go ahead and finish your thought, Tyler.
Yeah. I just wanted to throw in like Dan, you're talking about how like the space nerds are gonna love it. Like in the showcase, they talked about how like they took a lot of the like aesthetic draws or whatever from like NASA and shit. So like they definitely like set out to do like a very particular thing. And I think
would they call it NASA punk?
I don't know. I don't remember hearing that, but I remember them talking about like that robot companion and how they were like, oh, we made it look like one of the NASA like little drones like on the moon or whatever, and then we just like gave it human arms and legs. So
yeah, they had a word for the art style. I think they called it NASA punk.
Of course they did.
We just addressed the fact why is there so many robot companions in like every game now?
Who doesn't want a robot companion?
Right?
I mean, yeah. I don't know. I feel like it's a standard for every game that comes out.
It's the Titanfall 2.
No, like Titanfall 2 is good though. That's not a companion. Like that's your homeboy right there.
That's your homie.
That's your homeboy
BT? Right, BT's like your brother.
Oh, man. No, it's like I'm so 50-50 on the game. Like when I saw the trailer during the actual showcase, which that's a big gripe that I had during the original showcase. They have a trailer for it, knowing you have a 45-minute extended thing just for like that time could have been used to show off another game. So I'm a little salty about that. I did not understand the point of that. But I watched maybe 10 minutes of the extended showcase and I was like, I'm just going to turn this off. I can't watch it. I don't know why. Like it's not grabbing me. I don't know why. And like, maybe it's because kind of like you, Dan, like I loved Fallout 3. Fallout 3 was amazing. I played just about, I think, every Elder Scrolls game, but maybe for a few hours and then I lost interest. But that's what I'm kind of seeing. I'm seeing it as like Elder Scrolls in space. And like, I don't know if that's exactly what I want. And I don't have a lot of time anymore to play games that are like, oh, there's 1,000 planets you can explore. I'm like, dude, I can barely explore the one I'm freaking on.
999 planets too many.
That's way too many. I don't know, man. It's like I feel like it's kind of got the hype levels of Cyberpunk. You know what I mean? Like, ooh, I feel like it's reached that like that height of like, oh my god, no matter what this game could do, it's never gonna be able to live up to the hype.
We say this, and then in 20 years, you're gonna have the Game of the Year edition or the Legendary edition of Starfield on every platform, including mobile devices and all the cloud services, and
they're gonna get it running on your
eyeball
smart
projector.
Fridge. Yeah.
I hope, but like the best thing about it is like, I mean, I'm okay with feeling 50-50 on it because at the end of the day, it's going to come out on Game Pass. And so like, I don't have to worry about spending money on it. Yeah. So if I don't like it, I don't like it. I mean, I don't lose any money. So that's that.
I see it like Outer Worlds because Outer Worlds surprised me. Outer Worlds is basically Fallout in space. And I love it. It's so good. It's so incredibly well written. But that's also because it's Obsidian, and Obsidian said, we're going to make Fallout in space. Yeah. And they did a really good job of it. So here's Bethesda saying, now we're going to make Fallout in space and see how we do, taking our own property and remaking it in a different genre or whatever. But I don't know. Outer Worlds for me was a big surprise. I actually I tried it because it was on Game Pass and I ended up falling in love with it and like just devoured that game. Maybe Starfield does the same thing. I'm interested. I like the space exploration. I like space combat. I'll get bogged down in some of the walking around and talking to NPCs and checking emails, which I'm pretty sure you can live without checking emails, Maria.
No.
Don't check the emails, Maria. God.
Stop reading all the emails, Maria.
That's hire some voice actors. I don't want to read shit. There's voice actors that need jobs. I know some of them.
That's why I play video games.
I don't want to read. Go audition for it, Maria. You are the best spaceman ever.
You are the best at reading emails. Nobody reads emails better than you.
Nobody reads emails better than you.
I'm going to get clipped for that.
Oh.
Yeah, so we're pretty much across the board here on Starfield. I think it deserves the hype that it's getting, and I think it has the chance to do what a lot of people think. Like, there are a lot of people out there that are super excited for Starfield, and there's probably a lot of people that are going to absolutely freaking love this game, and it's going to be a big hit, which is great. Whether not everyone's going to be into it. Like most of us here are massive Bethesda fans. I know Tyler's played a fair few. Like you said, Jake, you play a little bit. Maria's on the complete opposite end of that spectrum.
I play Bethesda games. Shut up, Dan.
The Bethesda RPGs.
I played like
I read email once or twice.
Yeah, but did you play it for more than a few minutes and this is fucking boring?
Yes, I played them. I
read
played
an email.
I completed Fallout 3, so shut up.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
That's a good one. All right.
Maria's definitely like a Megaton nuker.
Yes. Yes, I played all the Fallouts. Yeah. I play games, Dan. Just
you did.
You like.
Wait. Before we move on, I want to say something controversial real quick. I want to throw out a hot take.
Ooh.
Give it.
I think that Starfield, if it does everything it says it's going to do at like a proficient level, I think it's a real Game of the Year contender in the Tears of the Kingdom year 2023. I think that if it does everything, if it hits, I think it is like the one game that will actually be in competition with Tears of the Kingdom.
I agree. I think if, like you said, if it hits all the notes that people expect it to, and they're saying it's going to do, I think it puts it right up there with Tears of the Kingdom, and it's going to be neck to neck.
What they say it's going
to,
which is
it's a massive if. Like, let's be real, but if it does,
it's going to be janky. The frame rate's probably going to suck, but
they did say it's
So does Tears of the
sometimes
Kingdom.
The bugs are the best part of the game, though.
Yeah, well, Tears of the Kingdom's locked at 30 as well, I think. But so is Starfield. For consoles, it's locked to 30 FPS. But I don't have an issue with that, honestly. I know a lot of people do.
I don't.
I mean, it's going to be better than The Last of Us remake remaster 4K special edition. So anything for that. I'm not sorry.
Moving on, let's get into the actual breakdown of the show itself. I want to say this right off the top of the show, that the best thing that Xbox has been doing lately, and what they did do with this show, is they set decent expectations. It's not as good as they've done in the past, but what they've been doing lately is they give you announcements that are set to, we're not going to give you anything that's more than a year out. They did that really well last year. Everything they announced last year was within the year coming. This year, it's a little further out there because we got a couple of trailers that were ambiguous with no dates. But if they're showing it,
one, like that Clockwork one, that was like the big one that like people were really hyped about. That didn't get a date.
Yeah, I don't believe Shadow of Midnight got a date either, like a frame.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Those are the big games, so that Microsoft acquired those studios, and they started working on games essentially once Microsoft acquired them. And now here we're finally seeing the fruits of their labor since they were acquired back in like 2019, 2020, depending on the studio. But to kick the show off, I think we got the best thing we could possibly get, and that was the phenomenal Fable trailer. It didn't tell us when the game was coming. It didn't have gameplay, and I don't care because it was so good.
It was announced, finally.
I mean, the game was announced, but at least we know it's still happening. Yeah. Like, if Fable didn't show, I'd be worried that Fable's not getting made. I'd be worried that the development's going badly. But since we got a really solid cinematic trailer, it's like, okay, cool. Fable is coming along. We will probably see it in the next year to 2 years. And the trailer sets a lot of expectations of what to expect for the game.
They're invested in that sucker succeeding.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that they included Richard Ayoade in the trailer is a big part of that.
I have no idea who that was.
He's the guy who plays the giant in the trailer.
No, like I knew he was somebody. I was just like, I know this face. I don't know where he's from though, because I don't know.
Yeah, most famously, Dave.
Dave the Giant. Who's Dave?
Oh, Dave. But I'm hoping that that's part of this version of Fable. I'm hoping that Richard Ayoade's character is a actual character in the game, or at least he is another main character, since the character in the trailer was kind of like the butt of a joke.
Ooh.
But I'm hoping he actually plays a main role in the game.
Do you think maybe he might be kind of like the narrator? You know how like all the Fable games have like was it like the sister from the first game? That's who was the narrator like throughout the entire trilogy. I could be wrong.
No, there was a different narrator, I think, for each game, because the first game had a male voiceover narrator. Then the second game, you had the woman that is guiding you, Teresa. I'm playing Fable 2 right now. But that was like your sister from the first game, because she was blind and everything. I don't know. I could be wrong. Yeah, it's been a while since I've actually played through those games to get the continuity. Well, anyways, what I'm hoping to see from the new Fable game is a cast of like star British comedians. Like, I would love to see a bunch of British comedians in that game playing amazing roles and just laying the comedy down thick in the game.
Who that giant guy is? He's like a British comedian.
Yes.
Isn't it? From the IT crowd.
Yeah.
Can I keep it 100% real with you? You just made me realize you made me realize I'm a complete fucking dumbass, because when I was watching that trailer, I thought that the main character was like shrunk down. I didn't realize he was a giant. So I thought she just like shrunk, and for whatever reason, because he fucking hated her, he just wanted to eat her.
Did you not notice the beanstalk?
Yeah.
I saw like a giant pumpkin, but I just thought he was giving it some crazy growth hormones or something. I don't know. Like
he's all about the veg. He's all about the veg.
Yeah, I thought he had some fantasy like GMOs or something. Like I don't know.
Also conquer the
vegetable. But anyways, I'm super excited for Fable from that trailer. I think it did a really good job of setting expectations. It definitely ensured that you will be kicking chickens in the new Fable game.
Kicking chickens and calling people wankers.
My kind of game.
What about you, Jake? You haven't had a good chance really to chime in here on this trailer.
I was pretty hyped, just a bit disappointed because, like you said, like there's no like full on gameplay. Like I heard that was like the engine gameplay or whatever, like certain scenes of it. I read about it, but it's like there's no release date, so like we don't know when it's coming. But it's nice to see that it's still there, you know, some reassurance that like, hey, this is happening. You will get this. Just
think about how long is a game like that going to take to make? Realistically,
I don't know, it's been like freaking 12 years since Fable.
Yeah, but they didn't start working on the game until 2020.
Maybe, I don't know.
They've only been in development for 2-3 years tops.
He's just mad, Dan. He's just mad. He wants to see more.
Mad. I just want it.
Listen, I want Fable to be the best it can possibly be.
We couldn't have gotten anything.
I'm okay with it taking a while. Like, it's okay. We waited long enough for The Last of Us 2. Like, we can wait a few years for a good Fable game.
We don't know how that turned out.
Wow.
Emails.
Yeah. There won't be emails in Fable, I can guarantee you that. But there was books. You have to read a lot of books.
Maybe.
There might be though. There might be like medieval emails where they're like writing with pens.
Yeah, they're called like books.
They do call that a book.
You used to be able to read books in the old Fable games and actually learn skills from them too, which was cool. Or you teach your dog things.
Oh, yeah.
You teach your dog like tricks on how to do better in battle.
Sounds riveting.
That's what I want. I want co-op back, and I want my dog back. That's what I want.
Yes, I love how
played Fable, so I mean I don't know whether I need to play them to work out what this new one's going to be about, because I've been meaning to play them, like everything in the world, but I haven't played them. So I probably should play the other ones before I play this one.
I mean, give them a go. They're on Game Pass.
I was under the impression they weren't
have to, but it's
connected fully.
They are. They're just like, what was that? I think
they're kind of self-contained.
They're just like decades and decades apart. Yeah. Like it's further enough to where it doesn't really.
It doesn't like fully matter.
Like they'll make a reference in a game to where like if you played it, you're like, oh okay, but like if you never played it, you're like, oh okay.
It's kind of like how you can pick up Skyrim, but not play the other Elder Scrolls. Elder
Okay,
Scrolls
well,
games.
fuck the old ones then. I'll just play them.
And I'm hoping
No,
for
play
the
them,
new
play them
Fable
all.
to be, I want it to be a reimagining of Fable, because I don't want the new Fable to play exactly like the old ones, because let's be honest, the old ones are kind of janky. Their performance isn't the best. They're still fun, but it needs an overhaul. Like the gameplay systems and mechanics definitely need a fine tuning and modernization that I think Playground Games is well equipped to make happen. And that's what I want. Just keep like the essence of the original games intact.
Didn't Playground make Forza?
Forza Horizon.
Forza or Forza? What are you saying? What is
Forza.
it? Fort with a T?
It's like the Italian way to pronounce it. It's an Italian word. Forza.
You mean the Ezio?
Pretty much.
Hey.
Forza.
That's the Ezio. There's no Italian. It's Ezio.
Nobody pronounces Forza quite like you.
Nobody pronounces Forza. Because I know that game has some pretty good graphics. But go ahead.
Forza? Oh yeah, Forza's beautiful. And I think that's when they announced that Playground Games was making Fable, and I'm like, oh, perfect. I didn't doubt it for a second. Perfect. So why are you laughing at me?
You still laughing about emails over there, Maria? What are you doing?
Probably.
Like,
I think she's laughing at me.
So perfect. So shiny. You're
Maria,
the
what
best,
game are
man.
you excited about? What game from the showcase do you give a rat's ass
I
about?
want that Monkey Island Sea of Thieves shit. I want to do that. Yes, right, with the pirates and the things and stuff. I was like,
It's gonna be shit. Nah,
it is going to be shit. It is going to be shit. I'm not even going to play it, but I like the fact that it exists.
No, we're gonna make you play it.
No, yeah, but I'm kind of sad that Ron Gilbert isn't involved in it. That's a dick move. But it's I don't know. I was sitting on my couch falling half asleep, and then I heard the and I was like, hello, hi. so yeah, I was just like anything. I was just like, that's my childhood in a game. Yeah, it's just fun. I'm surprised it hasn't happened before, to be honest, because they didn't they hint at
referenced Monkey Island and Sea of Thieves before.
I mean, that game is so goofy and so silly. It should basically be a Monkey Island game anyway. So yeah, I'm like, yeah, I'll play that. Probably not, but yeah, I'll give it a go.
Well, I'm glad there's at least something that you give a rat's ass about from the showcase.
There are other games.
Okay, what else? Let me hear.
Hellblade.
All right, and
yeah, and that other game that was on it, which I forgot.
All right, well, tell me about Hellblade then.
It looks really good. I'm sad that I didn't have actual gameplay of it, but from the original game, it's just going to be, it's going to look great. It's going to look good, and yeah, I like the Hellblade game. I thought it was really good. I wish they would hopefully they change up the puzzle a little bit, because that light thing got kind of boring after a while.
I expected Hellblade 2 to go much grander than Hellblade 1. I don't think if there are puzzles in the game like they were in the old game, I think they're going to be way more elaborate, or they're going to be much more well thought out, because Hellblade 1 is only 10 hours, give or take, to beat. I think Hellblade 2 is going to be much grander, much bigger in scale, and like have a lot more to it. I think it'll be more combat focused as well. Whereas Hellblade 1 was more of the experience and the journey. And I think Hellblade 2 is going to be a little bit more gamified. At least that's kind of the impressions that I get, especially based on Ninja Theory's past.
Yeah, see, there was a games that I was looking at.
Wait. Also, Maria, because I thought of you and Dan when I saw this. I can't remember the name of it, so I got to play like 20 questions with you guys and like friggin' figure it out. There's that game where it was like it looked like a horror game. And it was like on an oil rig or some shit. Is that ringing bells?
Still wakes the deep.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that shit and I was like, that's Dan and Maria right there.
It's a first-person horror game.
It did look, that did have like an interesting element to it. So I'm kind of like, all right, I saw that, and I was like, what is happening here? I'm all for those kind of creepy games. And there was that other one, the Clockwork
Revolution.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be like an Atomic Heart DLC for a second, because it got all that. It's very Bioshocking, and I was like,
it reminded me of like Bioshock Infinite.
I was like, is the fridge coming back?
It was super steampunky.
Yeah. So that was kind of interesting. But yeah, or Bioshock.
Nobody
Yeah, for
plays
sure.
Clockwork
Okay,
like
so
you.
I'll go into that then, because like the announcements from this show, we had the Shadow of Midnight, which is the new game by Compulsion Games, who haven't made anything since they shipped We Happy Few. And then we got the Clockwork Revolution, which is In Exile's new game, which is a completely different thing than what they've done before, because they've most notably done like Wasteland, like the CRPGs.
Mhm.
There was one other, they had the first gameplay like reveal trailer for Avowed, which is another big one that everyone's been waiting for.
That was Obsidian as well, right?
Yeah, that's Obsidian's new Skyrim killer, is how I see it.
Yeah,
it's their Skyrim killer,
Yeah,
and it looks just like
so
it's
much of
basically
Skyrim.
like how Obsidian took Fallout and made New Vegas, which everyone thinks is way better than Fallout.
Yes.
Now Avowed, I think, is going to be Obsidian taking Skyrim.
I hope so, because I feel the same way. That shit looks good.
Yeah, I actually, that new trailer for Avowed's got me really hyped for it. Like, I think Avowed looks really good.
Yes,
I love the colors. I love it looks super smooth. It didn't look janky as hell like a Bethesda game.
Yeah, everything looked very responsive. And when you're talking about the colors, like the particles and everything, like
everything, the color palette, everything.
It looks good. Yeah,
it was very fresh looking.
Definitely.
Yeah, there was a lot of good stuff here. The Star Wars Outlaws. That to me was a big surprise. I wasn't expecting any news on that game yet. I remember when I heard that Massive was going to be making a Star Wars game, my first thought is, oh, it's going to be The Division, but with a Star Wars skin slapped on top of it. But it actually looks like a really solid single player, story driven open world game.
That's not the Amy Hennig game, is it?
No, it's not.
Okay.
No, that's going to be something else entirely still. This is what happens when the Star Wars license opens up and other people get to make Star Wars.
There's so many of them out there. It looked interesting, but I was like, man, there's so many games. I still haven't played Survivor. I haven't caught up on all the freaking TV shows and everything. Like Star Wars is becoming like it's slipping out of my grasp.
It's kind of like Marvel. I can't keep up with Marvel.
And it's terrible because it's like it looks cool, but I'm like, I feel like I'm not going to understand really anything because I'm so out of date now. But it looked really good.
But this game,
again, another robot companion.
This game takes place between like Empire and like Return of the Jedi, companion. Though. They showed it at the
when
end.
she went to the little cockpit and the guy was sitting next to the little.
Oh, she got a droid buddy. Like that's Star Wars, though.
I know.
But he's wearing
was a little lizard cat.
It counts.
Dope ass.
It counts.
Duster jacket. He's freaking cool, man.
Robots
I thought it was Brad at first.
I was kind of hoping with Fallout, the 76 one.
Atlantic City.
Yeah, but I thought wasn't there someone that was set in London that was going to come out or something I heard about?
I thought that was a fan made one.
Yeah, that should have been a thing.
Oh yeah, no, that's like
a fan made so much better than the actual series.
Yeah, I know, because they actually make what they want rather than being like skateboards.
Are you excited for that, Tyler? I mean,
I live in New Jersey.
What's that?
I mean, Atlantic
He just
City.
has to look out his window and be like, Fallout.
It's Fallout.
It's already Fallout.
Freaking last week it was Fallout over here. But I mean, like, I hope that because I know with 76, they have a lot of like cool places in the game, which are like literally based on like real places. You like pull up images and shit, and it's like real places. With Atlantic City, it's like, that's right in my backyard, right? It's like, shit, I hope I can go there in the game and like find real places. Like that shit's kind of cool.
Yeah, so that's usually pretty cool.
Tyler's going to be playing the game and being like,
still play that
kind
game?
of an improvement.
Do you still play 76?
Occasionally. The thing is, it's like one of those games
going
where, like,
back to.
Are you talking about like okay? When's the last time you played it? Not to get too deep in the weeds, but
launch.
It's worth getting back into from launch. Yes.
I've heard it's way better since it originally came out.
Far better. I would not have touched it with a 10-foot pole at launch.
I tried to touch it at launch and it immediately crashed after I spent an hour making a character.
It didn't let you touch it.
Yeah.
No, I would say definitely go back to it now. Give it a try.
Yeah, it's something I need to get. I would like to go back to because I like Fallout. Fallout 3 was great. New Vegas was good. I know you'll fight me on it, but I don't think it was as good as Fallout 3. Fallout 4 was kind of but 76 it sounded promising. 76 sounded promising, and it just didn't deliver.
From afar. I watched my husband build houses in Fallout 4, and I was like, "Is this what we're doing now?" Okay, cool.
Your husband's doing the most boring thing possible in Fallout 4, and you're just like,
That's all
"What are you
did.
playing?"
I was like, "What is happening? You're just putting pieces of corrugated iron together. What the fuck?"
He's reading terminal emails.
Most people are
computers.
Most people get that friggin' bottleneck trophy at the end of Platinum Fallout 4, where it's like the get a settlement to 100% happiness. But Jake probably got that one first. So,
all right. So I want to like kind of roll us into like the final chunk. Like we already kind of got in there, but I want to segue into now like a kind of like a deeper dive on the show. So to start it off, I want to talk about how we got the PlayStation Showcase last week, 2 weeks ago. Time is irrelevant. And they had some big reveals and announcements. Some were pretty disappointed with that PlayStation Showcase, which it's like, all right, like to be fair, it's like, I mean, they showed off what was important with the Spider-Man 2 reveal. They did show off some other cool new announcements. I don't think it was a terrible show, but I don't know. People get so sensitive when it comes to these things. That's kind of why we're here talking about it now. And Xbox has, just had its new show where they focus on Starfield and a bunch of new announcements. So a quick rundown of what came out of the show. We got Avowed was officially shown off. We didn't see Contraband, which I was hoping to see. Hellblade got a new trailer with a release window of 2024, which is good. We didn't get any Gears updates, which is too bad. We know what Compulsion Games is working on now. They're making South of Midnight. Double Fine was a no-show. id Software was a no-show. Perfect Dark was a no-show, which doesn't surprise me, honestly, because I don't think that game's going to be coming anytime soon. Indiana Jones was a no-show, which I'm a little upset about, because that game was announced in 2019, 2018. It's been a while.
19, I think.
It's been a while. Also, Everwild was missing, which was Rare's other game that they've been developing for another, like since 2019. That was also announced, I think. It's been a while on that too. We did get the update on Forza coming in October now, which I'm happy about. State of Decay 3 was missing, sadly. Stalker 2 was missing. But the developer on Stalker did make an announcement saying, like, we're sorry that we couldn't be there. Development.
Our country's on fire. Sorry, your game is delayed.
Yeah. Stalker 2, I think it's a pass.
I think we're okay with that.
Like, they're trying not to die from a war, being invaded by Russia.
My entire town is flooded and everything's on fire. Sorry for the delay.
Yeah.
I don't care about the war. I need my game.
Yeah. Yep. There was a game that was announced called Exo Mecha that has since like vanished off the face of the planet. That game is just doesn't exist anymore. Apparently, it was supposed to be like a free to play game that was like Titanfall-y, where you're like a foot soldier and there was mechs kind of thing. Anyways, that's just gone. Outer Worlds 2 didn't get shown, but again, I think that game was very early. Party Animals actually got a date trailer at the Summer Game Fest, so we know Party Animals is finally coming. We didn't get Replaced. I was hoping for some news on Replaced because I'm pretty excited for that game. We didn't hear about Flintlock, and nothing. Radio silence on Kojima's Xbox project.
Oh, he's been all.
I still think that's a ways out, though.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. But if any updates, any sprinkling, just Kojima just like popping on screen like, "Hi, I'm still doing things. Bye," and that's all it would have taken.
He's too busy making esoteric tweets about Solid Snake.
That's true.
But whatever he says is just going to be completely different directions. He's like, I'm making a game about popcorn coming soon, and it's just nothing like it, So it's like you can't listen to anything that man says.
Yeah, quite literally.
Skateboards. Yeah.
Like, I'm watching movies. I like this actor. Will he be in my next game? Maybe. Yeah, I'm sure. So Gears, no Gears. Jake, I'm sure you're.
No, dude, that broke my heart. Like, I don't even freaking hate it. Like, I felt like it was do or die time for them, and I feel like it's like the ship is sinking hard with its fan base, and it's gonna be really hard to build that back up. I feel like,
dude, freaking.
I also feel like Halo too. Like, there's no update on Halo either. Yeah, that's sad. With like the creator of it tweets, he's like, "There's no announcement." What the hell?
Yeah, that was sad.
I missed that.
It is.
Yeah. I feel bad
worried
for
like
Cliffy
they're
being
just
there.
gonna hit. They're gonna hit like what's happening to Halo. Like Halo's momentum is just plummeting.
Yeah.
So it's like, ooh, is that gonna happen to Gears now too?
That like I honestly, that's what I feel like. I feel like Halo is no longer in its prime, and I feel like Gears is kind of heading in that direction as well.
And it's sad that they're both in the same boat of they've switched to a new studio that was made to make the games, and they're not doing it well. Like Gears 4, Gears 5 aren't bad games by any means, and I don't think the Halos aren't bad. Halo 4 wasn't great, but Halo 5, Halo Infinite are decent games. But man, oof.
No, and like not even an update on Halo. Like, what is going on, man?
Jake's in fucking shambles.
It's sad, but like, no, like I am, and like I freaking am, but like they're putting all their eggs in Starfield right now because like that is now that's their baby, that's their game, that's their next evolution, I guess, of Halo and Gears. Like that's right off of that for 10, 15, 20 million freaking years.
Hope it launches better than Redfall.
Right?
I wonder if
was there anything else you guys were hoping for? Indiana Jones, though. No, Indiana Jones, so freaking upset. Dude. Like I was like, there's got to be something for Indiana Jones, especially with the movie coming out. That would have been the perfect.
Literally, you're 100% right.
You can even go back to the initial announcement by Machine Games that they were trying to time the game with the release of a new Indiana Jones movie.
Whoops.
Mm-hmm.
What happened? Like Machine Games hasn't really done much either. Like they put out the side game or DLC game for Wolfenstein. But what else have they been doing? I assume they're knuckling down on
like Youngblood or something. Yeah.
Like Machine Games hasn't really been doing anything else. So you would assume they're working hard on the Indiana Jones game, which I hoped after 4 years we'd get something more than just a little teaser trailer we got ages ago. You
know what? The one thing I'll say about that is after this showcase has come out, there's been a lot of talk about how Phil Spencer's like, if studios are asking for time and they feel like they're behind and they need some more time with quality, he's been giving them time. So hopefully it's just a case of something like that. You know what I mean?
Maybe they've learned some lessons after Redfall too. So
I genuinely hope they do pivot a little after Redfall and make some decisions to give some people more time and whatnot. So
at least they should walk into a studio and say, "Hey, do you want us to leave you alone, or do you want us to come in and start controlling some stuff?" Because I heard that was kind of like the main issue with Redfall, where
it was very unfocused.
They left them alone, and they were like, they wanted more direction from Microsoft. Apparently,
I heard there's been like 100. There was like 100 people working on that game. That was it.
Oh, there was an external studio working on that game too. There was a support studio working on Redfall, and it still wasn't great. State of Decay 3, though. Yeah. I can't say I'm surprised that they weren't there because the studio making State of Decay is a small studio.
Yeah, the studio is making the studio that has made it 1 and 2 has always been small. You're definitely right. However, State of Decay 2 is so much freaking fun. I was just hoping that they would have 3. And I know it's unrealistic, but also it's just like it's like one of those things where like it's probably not going to happen, but also like that shit's fun. I want to see it. Like I'm low key State of Decay fan. I'm ready for that whenever they're gonna.
I wouldn't even say low key. I've enjoyed both State of Decay 1 and 2. They're fun games.
Yeah.
Oh my god, we found one Maria played. Woo!
Oh, what? Maria played
it,
a game
and
of
then
zombies.
my people in my village were all like, "I need medicine," and I was like, "No, you die. You die. I am not getting you medicine."
You just kick him out the fence, like, "Go get your medicine out there."
Yeah, failure to thrive, euthanasia.
Oh man,
I played it. I had fun.
But I assume
my own way.
State of Decay 3 looks like they have higher hopes and expectations with the game based on that trailer that we got.
Yeah.
So that's probably why it's taking them a little longer to make it happen.
It's literally decaying. It's in a state of decay.
Stop.
They got to animate all those zombie deers that yell at you.
So we're all mad about something. That's good.
What
That's
about
fun.
you, Maria?
Nice
Was there anything that you're mad about?
I didn't get to see Perfect Dark. I wanted to see that. We already mentioned all this stuff. Some of the games I wanted to see, we didn't see. I wanted to see Stalker. I wanted to get my Chernobyl on. And
you can't be mad about Stalker. Come on.
Why? I like that game. Well, there's very few games that I look at and I'm like, I want to play that game. And then when I don't get to see that game, I'm just kind of like, it's the only game I've ever wanted to play ever, and I can't play it.
No one cares,
only game
Maria.
I've ever wanted.
It's the only game I ever wanted to play. See, I only get excited for certain games, and then when I don't get to play them, I get really sad. So.
Mm-hmm. We do have the Xbox Extended Showcase tomorrow, so there's a small part of me holding out hope that we might get something, because they did. Your head,
Jake. Stop
they
that.
Did. They did do some stuff
Don't.
last year. Last year they did show some stuff. They might.
The Last of Us is coming to Xbox.
The remaster re-edition,
the remaster,
the Xbox version, and it's just like the PC port, but it's like standardized where all the visuals are all fucked up. Like, here you go.
Yeah,
here's the Xbox version.
I don't have high hopes for that tomorrow. I really don't.
He's just a broken man. No Gears.
I am. I'm freaking. I'm broken, man.
Well, I'm not saying you're going to get Gears to the extended
churning.
showcase. That's not going to happen. I was more holding out for State of Decay 3 at the extended showcase.
There's not going to be a major release like I want for that.
No,
it's
probably
like
not.
I honestly don't expect. I have no idea when Gears is going to come out, and like the position they're in right now, there's been a complete radio silence, and it's like the head of the studio, Rod Ferguson, left the coalition to go, and he shipped Diablo 4, which is doing amazing right now.
Right.
So it's like,
well, I mean, I guess we know what grinds Jake's gears. Not having gears.
Always.
No gears to grind.
But how about real quick of that the Xbox, the Black Series S, the terabyte storage
with the extended storage.
Did anybody want that? I mean,
no, I was being snarky about it, and I'm not going to be snarky about it. So.
I mean, if I was going to get a Series S, why not have one with a bigger hard drive? Like, if I wanted to go out of my way to have another Xbox, like, sure.
I mean, if you don't already own one and you wanted to get one, you'd be like, let's go with the one with the bigger hard, because it is a problem. Like,
I think more options is always better.
Games. Yeah.
Especially on an only digital system that you need hard drive space for, because you can't use disk. And I mean, with a disk, you still got to install it, and you need memory to do that.
Especially with these games now that are so big that you just have to keep loading this DLC on, like fucking Destiny just destroys your computer.
Jesus,
I need an extended hard drive just for Sea of Thieves.
Yeah. Right?
The Starfield, I believe, is going to be like 150 gigabytes too, by the way. Like, okay, bye.
I miss the days of like the 360 where games were like 6 gigs and that's it. Like
they should just release the Starfield Xbox, and that's all you can put on it. That's all that will
hard
fit
locked
on this.
Just
hard
Starfield.
At this point,
we're getting to ideas. They'll do that. They'll do that. You buy an Xbox, and you automatically get all the DLC just for that game. You can only play one game, and it's just for that game.
Yeah.
There you go. Marketing. Yeah.
I was also hoping to see some updates from idSoft, because they've been radio silent since Doom Eternal shipped. They've also been really active with like putting out the new updated ports of Quake. So it's like there's a lot of rumors of like a Quake reboot.
And that's with the whole like Hexen t-shirt. We were like, hang on, you teasy bastard.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm surprised there was no updates from idSoft. I was really hoping for something for Contraband, because I love the studio that's working on that. And I have expectations. I hope Contraband will hit on. But yeah, Double Fine, I'm surprised was quiet, but then again, Double Fine is such a unique studio that they make very specific games, and they probably won't have anything for us for a couple of years after they ship Psychonauts 2. Anyways, I'm ultimately pretty happy with that whole showcase.
I am too.
Yeah, like it missed some marks, but then again, we got a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, I'm happy they showed a lot of exclusives. That's the biggest thing. I may not have liked all the exclusives, but it's exclusive. Where PlayStation literally had, in my opinion, Spider-Man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then just a bunch of
like, I enjoy the PlayStation showcase, but not for PlayStation. Like they announced like the Metal Gear remake, and I was like, this, but it's like for PlayStation, it's like exclusive. So
also just continuing the trend of like they just release like banger premiere first party Xbox only freaking reveal, and then boom, only on, or like day one Game Pass, boom, day one Game Pass, boom, day one Game Pass. Like that shit elevates any presentation they're gonna do. Let's be real. Like,
that's where it hits the hardest for sure, where they're like world premiere, and then it's like day one Game Pass. Even a lot of the third party stuff.
Yeah.
Like
Payday 3. Yeah, Payday 3
yeah.
day one Game Pass.
That was unexpected.
I wasn't expecting Payday 3. Also, here's a big one too. All of the Atlas stuff. I think that's huge. I wanted to make sure I mentioned Atlas being a big presence in this show, because Atlas has historically been a very PlayStation-centric publisher. And now we got them highlighting on Xbox's platform and announcing a new game even, which isn't going to be a console exclusive, but still, like, they're announcing it on Xbox's showcase rather than on PlayStation's. So I think that's huge. I think that's a big part of what Xbox has been working on to culture better relationships, especially in Japan. The more Atlas they can get, the better. And we're getting a freaking Persona 3 rebooty, remake, whatever that is supposed to be. But yeah, I think it's big that they're getting Atlas to do more with Xbox.
Yes.
Yay. You guys are like, whatever, don't care.
I mean, I agree with your analysis, but I am no expert on that myself.
Yeah, it was. I mean, as showcases go, there was more than there usually is. I appreciated it was more actual, like, not just a bunch of theatrical trailers and shit. That's kind of like more like, oh, it's an actual game. Thanks.
Yeah.
And I don't want to discredit any of the smaller games that were announced there as well, because there were some pretty cool looking other games. Like, I'm interested in the Kunitsu, which is a new Capcom hack and slash game, which as soon as I saw that, I'm like, ooh, this looks like old school Capcom, which I'm a big fan of. Some of the smaller games, like...
Is that the one that kind of looked like... There were some characters, I think in the one you're talking about, that looked kind of like Warframes to me, anyways. Like the masks they were wearing, at least. Like,
oh,
do you know what I'm talking about?
Well, because Kunitsu is very Japanese. There was a lot of demons, a lot of like demon hands.
Yeah. You see, for some reason,
samurai.
I really thought it was like some other like DE thing that wasn't Warframe, but like adjacent to it, and like set in like the past or something. It was just weird to me because the demon things looked like the infested like enemy type from Warframe to me. But and then when I saw it was like Capcom demon shit, I was like, wow, that is not at all what I thought it was.
Yeah. There was that other smaller game that really caught my attention. And 33 Immortals is an interesting concept because it's literally 33 player co-op. Like, what?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 33 player co-op.
I didn't even catch that.
Yeah.
Wow. The servers on that game are going to be insane.
And then Towerborn looked interesting. I'm curious to see more of Towerborn.
There was the climbing one. I don't remember the name of it, but that looked beautiful. Yes. That looked really great, honestly.
And apparently the single player Overwatch 2 mode that they told us a few weeks ago they were scrapping. We don't have to.
No.
Backpedaling.
Don't do that.
we gotta make a U-turn out of that one real quick.
All right. I didn't mean to bring up Overwatch. I'm sorry. No, but with that, we're gonna wrap up the show tonight. We're all pretty happy with that Xbox showcase, and I think it did well. Xbox needed that. They definitely needed that. It sucks that we're not getting a whole lot this year besides Starfield, but I think 2024 for Xbox is going to be packed. Like 2024 is looking massive for Xbox. Yeah, it's good.
And 2023 has been a massive year for like other publishers in the industry. So basically, we got a banger year with the non-Xbox games, and then 2024 another banger year. We're just stacking banger years. We're just coming out of
that COVID slump. I think everyone's just kind of like.
I think you're right. You're right.
I think that's
because when we were all at home, we had nothing to do apart from make games. Apparently.
Yeah, right. I'm just gonna make these games because I'm bored and got nothing else to do.
People were just confined to Zoom calls instead of studios.
Yeah. All right. Thank you all for hanging out with us this evening. This has been a good conversation. Thank you, Tyler. Thank you, Jake. And thank you, Maria. This is Screen Smash, in case you forgot, CouchSoup's gaming podcast. And we'll see you all next week. Bye, everyone.
Gotta read some emails.
Read those
I'm
emails.
best at reading emails.
Read the-